Hi, I've had loads of questions about the Gigcaster and one question in particular, which is how to plug in a phone for either recording, using it with a camera off the phone, or live streaming. Now, I can't stress this enough, it's actually incredibly simple to the point where Boss made it about 10 seconds in the video. So I'm going to show you two ways we can do this today. The main one obviously is for live streaming, but we can also record as well. But you can record on the Gigcaster anyway with an SD card, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. That's how you can hear me. Now, to give you this breakdown, we've got the Gigcaster right here. I've got a microphone plugged in on channel 1. There's no effects on there. And that's it right now. It's plugged into power. So we're going to actually plug in a phone. Now I've got my phone here. Now this is an iPhone 15, so the 15 range is USB-C, and then the back of this is USB-C. So you just need a USB-C to USB-C cable. That's it. So I've got one here. It's a cheap USB-C cable. I think it came with something. I can't remember what it came with right now. And then we're going to plug it in. So that's now in the back of the Gigcaster, and then we're just going to plug our phone in. So I'm just going to unlock my phone and then plug it in, and then that's it. Now you will get a message the very first time that you've used it. It'll either say, do you want to use this as headphones or another device? If you pick headphones, it's going to take a channel 1 and a channel 2, and that's about it. But if you pick other device, the iPhones actually have a thing called audio core, so they can actually pick up more than one channel. So I always pick other device, but of course, if you just want a stereo out all the time, then just pick headphones. Now, how do I know this is working? I know it's working on the Gigcaster because, of course, it's recording, and I know it's recording. So how do we know it's working on here and it's not picking up just the microphone from under here? Well, what we're going to do is very simply, we're going to use GarageBand. So on GarageBand, I'm going to actually set a new song. We're going to go audio recorder voice. And if I do that now, there we go, just give that a sec. And straight away, channel 1, there it is. Now this is stereo out. So if I tap down here, I can actually see stereo. And there it is, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I can change, of course, the sound, depending on what it is, on lead vocal right now. So let's put it on narrator, for example, as I'm talking, input 1 or input 2. So if I go to input 2, it's still, that's the right hand channel. And then if I go to input 1, that's the left hand channel, because this is coming out in stereo. Let's have a look at another option, which is Loopy Pro. So I've got Loopy Pro here on the phone. So what we're going to do now is go to the mixer. So audio source was muted. The audio source has been muted to prevent the risk of audio feedback. You can disable this below. So we can auto mute. So it's a no, we can turn that off. And then we can unmute it. And there we go, stereo 1 and 2. If I give this a click though, it says there, input selection, GCS8, and we can have a look at that, or iPhone microphone. So that's great. I know it works on GarageBand. I know it's working on Loopy Pro. I know it's recording on the Gigcaster anyway. But then what I need to do is I need to make sure that we've got it the way we want it for the audio. And the great thing is with the USB is you can delay the audio, which is really, really cool for live streaming. Now, live streaming, of course, a video like this, the video signal can take a little bit longer than the audio signal. So you can delay the audio so it actually syncs up. So if we go into the menu here and we go into output, we can go into general, and you can actually see there's an option for stream delay, and it's done in milliseconds. So I actually can move this along from off all the way up to 2000 milliseconds, 2 seconds. But this is a really great option, stream delay, because you always end up with the audio fine and then the video sort of catching up with itself. So if that's happening because of the delay of your internet or just the delay of it going in and out and around and wherever, then you can actually put stream delay on there. It sounds fine to you because the delayed out, you can either have the main or the USB, or you can say, I just want the delayed out to be USB, but the main, I want it to be bang on because I do loop in, I need it to be right on time. You can have it like that. Now, when you go into the Gigcaster and you press USB, you've got main, you've got monitor, and you've got aux in. The reason for this is because actually you can send audio from a phone and bring it in, and that's why you've got a dedicated USB channel. So if you go to there, this is your aux in. Of course, you've got things like you can bring in backing tracks, you can play your backing tracks, and it can auto duck. So as you're talking, it'll drop down and bring it back up again, or not. It's up to you. You can have a mix minus, you can have a reverb send, and you can also do dynamic remain as well. But because this is now in stereo, then what we can do is if we go into any like live streaming or anything like that, then of course we can go over to live streaming, and then we can go to record a video, we can record a short, we can record a live. This is obviously on YouTube, of course, if you're using it for Twitch or if you're using it for Facebook, anything like that. And if I just go obviously live from here, it's picking up the same audio. So of course it's going to go straight through to the USB, and then that's your audio. My tip for this is always do a quick test, make obviously a sound check, make sure it's working. Even if you're just recording into voice memos and you plug it in and it goes, right, that is definitely the audio coming from here, turn an effect on or something, or turn on one of the pads and you can actually hear it playing through. Now, if you're using the Gigcaster to record your music on the SD card, then the great thing is you can take that SD card out, put it into your computer, and you've got the recording. But what are you going to do with it? If you're recording yourself or your band, then the great thing is you can do something with that audio. You could release it. So you could either bring it out as a live show if you're recording at a gig, or if you're at home or in the studio, then of course it's your live performance of that song. And the great thing is, if you then want to put that song out there, that's where today's sponsor comes in, which is DistroKid. If you want to put your music out there to places like Apple Music and Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, Deezer, even things like Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok to be used for the music as reels, you can't just send it directly to those companies. You need a music distributor in the middle to then send it out. And that's where DistroKid can help you. You upload your music to DistroKid and then they push it out to all the online stores and digital streaming sites around the world. Now there may be some that you've never even heard of, and you could actually get your music played and you get paid. The amazing thing now is you've even got an app which is on both iOS and Android. You can upload directly from there, and every time you do an upload or a release, they create what's called a hyperfollow page for you to actually just give to your audience, and they choose how they listen to your music. So you don't have to push people to a platform that you don't like. And the great thing as well is when you upload your music to DistroKid, you can choose which platforms you do want your music on and don't want your music on. Now, music distributors charge you every time you release some music, but DistroKid actually work on a subscription basis. And that subscription starts at $22.99 for an entire year. That's right, you can release as much music as you want to for an entire year for under $23. We've got a link that's on the screen now. It's in the description box below, and that will give you 7% off that first year's subscription. Now there's a couple of different tiers, and I'm actually on the Musicians Plus tier, which is the next one along. That one is $39.99, and that gives you 2 artists. You can also schedule the date of the release. You can also do the pricing for if people are buying it on things like iTunes, as well as all the great features that you get with the first tier. There's even a label tier as well if you want to do more than 5 acts, and if you want to go all the way and start distributing and become your own label, you can do that through DistroKid. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Check out the link that's in the description box and start distributing your music today. Now, we've discussed USB-C. Let's have a look at Lightning connections. Now that's USB-C to USB-C. But what about if you haven't got USB-C on the other end? Well, the other thing, of course, for an iPhone is Lightning. So if you're on an iPhone 14 or below, you're going to need 1 or 2 extra things. The first thing you're going to need is this. This is the Lightning to USB camera adapter. It's actually a camera adapter by default. Originally designed to actually plug your camera in, you can import your photos, things like that. But it also transmits so much more than that. I've used this for plugging in MIDI keyboards, I've used this for plugging in audio devices, no problem. So the way this is designed is this plugs into the Lightning port of your phone, and then you've got another Lightning port there so you can keep it powered if you need to, if you're streaming for a long time. And then this is USB-A. So what you would need for the Gigcaster is a USB-C to USB-A cable. Now you get this with most devices these days. In fact, I've got a load of them because I don't even use USB-A anymore as much as possible because everything that I've got is now USB-C. I've moved it all over. So much so that I don't have a phone to show you which is Lightning anymore because I don't have one. But this obviously would plug into the phone, and it works exactly the same way. When you plug this in, and then obviously on the phone, it'll come up asking that question, what is this? Is it headphones or is it another device? Now, the other thing you can buy, obviously because everything's going to USB-C, is a Lightning to USB-C cable. In fact, if you buy a new iPhone, which is an iPhone 14 or below, you get one of them in the box. I don't genuinely know if that actually is going to work, and therefore you no longer need one of these, or if you still do need one of these. I'm not sure. That's the one thing I haven't tested because I no longer have a phone that is Lightning connection. But let me know in the comments below if you had wins with this. I'll put a couple of links up to some of the places I've got cables from. Now, if you haven't had a chance to play around with a Gigcaster and you want to learn all about it, I've got a playlist now all about the Gigcaster with all the videos I've done so far. That's this video right here. Have a look and let me know what you think.